여보세요. 좋습니다. 감사합니다. I've 듣고 있어요. So we're going to check out I Am from Ive. It's their most recent comeback. We still got to check out Kitsch. At least that's the way I think it's pronounced. That's how I've been pronouncing it. So we'll find out when it comes time to check it out. Alrighty. I read a little bit about it on the news video, but other than that, I really don't know what else to expect. So let's just get right into it. 다른 문을 열어 따라갈 필요는 없어 넌 너의 길로 난 나의 길로 하루하루마다 색이 달라진 느낌 밝게 빛이 나는 길을 찾아 I'm on my way 넌 그냥 믿으면 돼 I'm on my way 보이는 그대로야 모든 그의 dreams come true 제일 좋은 어느 날의 deja vu 머물고픈 어딘가의 낯선 view I'll be far away That's my life is 아름다운 galaxy Be a writer 장르로는 fantasy 내게 열리는 건 big big stage So that is who I am Look at me look at me look at me now 어제랑 또 다른 짜릿한 나 두려운 모든 게 설레게 I'm sky high oh my god 사소한 건 다 어떡해줘 wow. Look at me now I'm on fire 넌 그냥 믿으면 돼 I'm on my way 보이는 그대로야 모든 그의 dreams come true 제일 좋은 어느 날의 deja vu 머물고픈 어딘가의 낯선 view I'll be far away That's my life is 아름다운 galaxy Be a writer 장르로는 fantasy 내게 열리는 건 big big stage So that is who I am 어느 깊은 밤 길을 잃어도 차라리 날아올라 그럼 내가 지나가는 대로 길이거든 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 fly up I hope you be so my dreams come true 제일 좋은 어느 날의 deja vu 머물고픈 어딘가의 낯선 view I'll be far away That's my life is 아름다운 galaxy Be a writer 장르로는 fantasy 내게 열리는 건 big big stage So that is who I am Some really impressive high notes in this that build up to the that is who I am line and there was a nice one of the coolest visual transitions that I've seen where she jumps out of the plane and then it's kind of oriented it starts as a shot from below looking up but then it ends up being an overhead shot in the choreo. It was really cool, man, like really smooth. It's got some great little sections in here where they change up from the sort of like the main groove that they have. Like the first one, I think it came at maybe the end of the first verse, but it like totally just broke the beat, and I was like, whoa, like a completely different feel, right? And it was very cool. And then the second time around, when it changed up, it had a rhythm part that was like a kind of a clean acoustic guitar sound, and almost like got real folky, like guitar and clap kind of clap for the percussion. And they're nice little stylistic
shifts, but the way everything is like handled in the production, it all fits very well. Like the instrument voicings have the same, a very consistent sort of treatment, and everything sort of operates within the space that they have, set up for the mix here. And it's got some great build-ups though, like a really cool use of rhythms. It's in 4, right? So you're counting 1, 2, 3, 4. I think, oh, what is it? There's one section in there, I feel like it might be pre-chorus, but the lyric starts in, and it's like straight on 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and like it's just straight on the beat. The bass before that, like in the intro, and I think the chorus section is doing little triplet groups. So you hear that do 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 do. That's like a 1 lolly, 2 lolly, 3 lolly, 4. It's still in 4, but the bass rhythm is in 3. It's doing these little triplet groups, subdivisions. Nice little what they call like dot flags. So you have the 16th note subdivision, which would be the 1E and the 2E and the 3E and the 4E and there's a lot of like 1E, and then the 4, like you get the 16th note either right after the beat or right before the beat. It's really cool. Like it's a lot of the different rhythms that are going on throughout the different parts in the mix, but really nice vocal work, man. It's been a while. You know what I mean? Like we've already done on the channel. I've listened to those tracks a lot, and this is it feels like, and I'm just going off of the again the songs that we've done before, but it feels kind of like a somewhat developed, like, and even the look, even the visual on it, like it's a very stunning visual, but they seem a little bit more mature, maybe. Not that they were like, you know what I mean, they were did a lot of like sweet stuff, a lot of stuff that you might call cute, a little bit cuter, but this was so like streamlined and smooth throughout, like everything, even the color palettes as far as the visuals and everything is very, very consistent. And they have this sleek, this very sleek, like clean type of look. It just feels a little bit more grown up, and even the even the song, right, the kind of idea it presented in the lyrics, like declaring that this is who I am, sort of like defining your personality or character or something, so sort of like coming into it, kind of a concept. It's very, very cool. It's okay, let's see. Incredible, like punchy percussion now, that drum fill in the beginning, but you hear the bass right away. You get that nice synth sort of riser, and then you hear that do 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 1 lolly, 2 lolly, 3 lolly, and a really hard, punchy drum fill to bring in the beat. Oh, it sounded like what? It's some kind of synth, but horns. Bum 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 bum. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, like, so horns, almost like a fanfare. Okay, so snaps on 2 and 4 now in the percussion. You have the kick and you have like the 808 that is going, and then 4, 2, 4. I'm trying to. The vocal rhythms are also really, really fun. They're a really engaging part of it. it's going very quickly.
I'm on my way. 넌 그냥 믿으면 돼. I'm on my way. 보이는 그대로야. 모든 그의 dreams come true. 제일 좋은
1, 2, 3, 4.
하늘을 deja-vu.
So right there, she switches to the straight 4 count. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. It's you see, and the rhythms and the vocal parts were so much busier, right? Like in when the verse section came in, and then you also had a sort of like the backing vocals were just sort of harmonizing over the chords, ha ha. But you had the main vocal line rhythms going on, and then your backing vocals also doing something different, but really just sort of adding to the color that's going on over the chord progression. You don't have much. I mean, you have like the bass and the percussion, so actually a lot of your chord color is coming from the vocal harmonies. They're kind of playing the rhythm part, like there is the rhythm part, there is the chord progression.
머물고 간 어딘가에 낯선 view. I'll be far away. That's my life.
See, that was a cool transition. That was really cool. It was really, the beat drops out, and then she comes in on the high note, and you get like it's a super cool transition, man.
I'll be far away. That's my life. Let's see, be a writer. 장르로는 fantasy. 내게 열리는 건 big big stage. So that is who I am. Look at me, look at me, look at me now. 어제랑 또 다른 짜릿한 나.
So she's doing the triplet rhythm also in the vocal line. 1 lolly, 2 lolly, 3 lolly, 4.
모든 게 설레게. 사소한 건 다 어색해져. Look at me now.
What a crazy change up right here, dude. Totally just broke the beat, right? Oh, like that first of all, you get the hat work that's now changed up, or you get that sort of trap style. The bass completely shifts, right? And then you have that synth sort of refractor, that's kind of bouncing all over the place. Pew, 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 pew. It's a crazy change, dude.
사소한 건 다 어색해져. Look at me now, look at me now. I'm on fire.
Crazy drum solo to bring it back. Oh, that was a little set me free. You know what I mean? But that's a really cool. I almost wish that was like longer. You know what I mean? I wish that phrase was like a little bit longer, just because of the change up in it. It was a really cool sound. What a shift. The bass became really sustained, right? It was counting out like whole notes basically. And the hat work got really busy, and just the entire feel of it would have been cool if it was like just another, measure, or like another couple of measures there just to stretch that out. It was a really cool song, like a really cool space.
넌 그냥 믿으면 돼. I'm on my way. 보이는 그대로야.
There's something really light in pitch. Might be like a synth percussion. It's doubling those triplet groups that the bass was doing, and I hear it's like really, really kind of sandwiched in there in between like the higher pitches and then what the bass is doing, but you can pick it out. It's really weird. It kind of like sits right over the pocket of that, like what your kick is doing and what the bass is doing, and it creates this really cool layering, because it's almost like a pop at the top of it. Like it's so close, and it's so vertically lined up, like perfectly. And so when you get like the bass, boom, 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 or boom, 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 boom. Like you hear it's a weird sort of high pitched like percussion hit that's doubling that, and it's a really cool effect, man. Like it's something in the mix, the way the mix is set up. But it's so subtle too. Like you really have to listen to it. But it's cool once you start to hear it. It sounds like bubbles popping, kind of, like, if that makes sense. All together, like what the kick is doing, what the bass is doing, and then what this higher percussion is doing. Like it makes like it sounds like bubbles popping.
모든 그의 dreams come true 제일 좋은 어느 날의 데자뷰 머물고픈 어딘가의 낯선 view I'll be far away That's my life this 아름다운 galaxy Be alright 날 장르로는 fantasy
It's a nice descending line too in the bass, right? Boom, 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 boom. Oh, it might be like, it might still be, that might be just two chords. And it's just walking down from one to the other. It's kind of, the lyric, the vocal follows how the bass is sort of walking down there. Yeah, it's the rhythms. It's the different rhythms that you have going on that make this so much fun. Like it's really fun. Oh, right here. So nice. Nice sustained notes, right, in the vocals. It sounds like they're doubled too. Like, so not everybody's singing, but you have the sort of main vocal part that's out in front, and there's a slightly higher pitched doubling of that. Someone harmonizing just above it, right, and above it, but a little bit more laid back. So the lower pitch is the one that has the most body on it. And then you have this sort of acoustic guitar rhythm part underneath it, and that, like, the snap comes back, right? So it's a very, like, another change up. Instead of that crazy breakbeat, kind of section that was going on, this has a completely different type of color to it and tone, and it's like that first one was really fun. I was like, oh man. And it got a little bit deeper. This is very warm sounding, right? Like this little change up here is very warm sounding, especially with the vocal. Not like they're not jumping way up in their registers, but they're pretty high. Like they're sitting pretty high in it. It's a very sweet sound in the middle of it. Because the main sort of song itself really builds up to like a strong vocal delivery, right? Once you get to the that high note part. Oh, the bass. Okay, so that was really cool. Hold on. Check this out. No, before that bass comes in. Oh, right there. Whoa. From the like the kind of warm, almost like organic and soft sound that came when that section changed and that guitar part rhythm came in and the vocal got really sweet over it. All of a sudden this synth bass comes in, brrr, and it was like, oh man, all of a sudden it starts to feel a little bit colder and a little bit darker too. And then they're building up though. It's so crazy. It starts with that low end, and then what they're stacking on top of it with these different vocal lines starts to like make it brighter as they go up on the pitch there. it's really inventive, and it's really fun too. Like, it's super cool. Really cool transitions in this. Excellent rhythms. The vocals are fantastic. They're really strong, man. They're really, really strong.
I hope you be so my dreams come true. 제일 좋은 어느 날의 데자뷰 머물고
Oh, did you hear that high note?
나의 낯선 view. I'll be far away. That's my life. It's sudden get let's see. Be alright. 날 장르로는 fantasy. 내게 열리는 건 big big stage. So that is who I am.
Big bass drop. Boom. Wow, it's really, really fun. It's man, they have some really good voices, man. Like, it's powerful. You know what I mean? I'm trying to, from the tracks that I've heard before, you know, in this one it's just like, oh man, they're really like putting in the work, like it's on the vocal end. You know what I mean? Like I said, there were some sections where the vocal harmonizations is really carrying the actual rhythm. You know, the bass is there to help move the progression along, but there's nothing else really outlining the chord tones, so you get a sense for where the entire song is based off of like predominantly just their voices. And then the high notes, dude, the power going into, like, when she's hits that I am, you know, that she's going on, but not breaking into head voice. That's all the power that she can spring up right from the chest voice before breaking into like the falsetto register. I mean, it's super strong. It got such nice control also, you know, to be able to sort of push all the way up to there, and then, you know, drop back that and it's a fun song. Really, really great transitions, especially in those sections where they changed up the entire style. I mean, that was really cool. It was the first one was like out of nowhere, and I'm like, what in the world is going on? It's so fleeting though. What it does is really cool when it sort of, you know, the hat comes in, the bass changes to those sustained whole notes, and it creates such a really cool contrasting feel to it, and it it was fun, and then it's like gone very quickly. Like, oh man. But the rest of the song is also really great, and it's really, as much as the vocal work is sort of carrying, you know, through the melodies and through the harmonies, the rhythms that are used are really what sort of gives it its shape. You know, the melody and the harmony is giving its color, but the shape of this, the structure is really informed by the different rhythms that are going on, and at times they, you know, because it doesn't go with a straight, you know, even when the bass is using that triplet grouping, right, the 1 lully, 2 lully, 3 lully, 4, it will shift. You'll get like a phrase, and then it changes after, when it goes into what you might consider the next section, or even just the latter half of whatever, like the verse section or something. But it changes its whole rhythm up, and then the percussion will shift also, and it'll go from something, the triplet grouping, or, you know, 4, counting strictly in 4, or maybe some 8 notes, and it'll completely change when the for example, when that first change up comes and you get that busy high work, that's really what makes up most of the percussion in that section. And it's that trap style, so the count is completely different than anything you heard up until that point. That's what part of what makes that whole shift so dramatic, and then the vocal rhythms as well do the same thing. In the first verse you don't even get sort of a repeating patterns. Like the first lines come in, maybe the first, like, I don't know, 4 bars or some such, or maybe 8, but it has its using their own rhythms. And then when it shifts to, I believe, pre-chorus, that's when they start going kind of basically in 4, right? But even then, tying in those little 16th notes, the 1e or the a 4, like that, that little beat, right? Adding it on to your main count, whatever that is. It is subtle things like that, and where to use them, right? To use it at the beginning of a line, or maybe at the end of a line. And then what else? The subtle things in there, like that higher pitch percussion sitting over what the bass and the kick were doing, right? Because it's really subtle. Like, I bet some people might not even pick up on it, just because of the pitch that it's at, but also the way that it's sort of sandwiched, like, in the mix. Because you have stuff going on that's higher, that's over it, and that's got much more presence in this, but it takes up much more space in the mix. And then the kick and the bass underneath it are also way bigger in this. This is a tiny little percussive hit that's going on over it, but once you hear it, it's like, oh, it's there, every time. And it's just a really cool layering effect. This is all production, as far as the music side goes. This is just writing your composing your percussive part, but arranging it that way in the mix, it's just a really cool, subtle thing, that and it's fun. That's all the things that sort of make this song really fun, and it's a great song, even in its concept and everything. It's a great comeback song. You know what I mean? When I say this, I don't mean to say that Ive is biting anything off of like another group or whatever, but because I haven't heard Kitsch yet, right? I haven't heard what the pre-release was, but this reminds me, and depending on how Kitsch actually sounds, but I'm thinking of the other recent comeback, which was the Twice one. And the first you get Moonlight Sunrise, and then you get Set Me Free, and it has a similar like feel to it, like as far as the concept goes, right? Set Me Free was also kind of this like empowerment kind of, like declarative thing, and this has a similar like character to it, not a similar sound, or you know what I mean, but it even the choreo and did that. I thought, oh, it seemed like a little nod to Twice, kind of. Of course, it's probably all just coincidental because people don't have time to necessarily do that. Sometimes you do, but sometimes you don't. Sometimes you're just busy and you're working on stuff, and somebody else is busy and working on stuff at the same time. But I have this sense of a similar type of character behind the songs, if you get what I'm saying, right? Because it's a very strong comeback. Like it's a really good single to sort of, put out there as your A-side comeback song, right? And the video's also really cool too, man. That one transition from jumping out of the plane, that was really cool. Like that was really well done, and everything else is just so high quality, and stylized and everything. They had great choreography too. That's not lost on me. It's really fun. It's really entertaining. The whole thing. Yeah. So I think it's a great comeback song. It carries that energy, that character, that kind of style to it. That vibe or whatever however you want to describe it. And it's fantastic vocal work too. Like the vocals are really front and center for this particular song. The use of rhythms helps to make it very fun and very engaging. The change-ups in the sections too also keep you kind of moving. It's like the track is relatively fast. Sometimes when they sing, it's a little bit spaced out as far as duration, because if you count the beat, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 lolly, 2 lolly, 3 lolly, 4, but the way they sing, when they have more sustained notes and everything, it feels like the horizontal there, the time aspect is sort of expanded a little bit, and so it's one of those things, like one of those songs that kind of can trick you into thinking that it's a little bit more laid back than it actually is. But when they build up to a fantastic use of the vocals again, the high notes are incredible. There's one towards the end, the sort of outro, kind of verse, or no, I'm sorry, the outro, like chorus, that last time that the chorus part comes around, there's an incredible high note in the left, and it's just someone singing. I think it's like an ooh, like they're singing a ooh, but it's really bright and it's fairly big, but it's like it just sort of pops out in its panned left. It's panned left and it sits kind of high, and it kind of comes out of nowhere. And it was fun. The only thing is that I kind of want more, like those sections that changed up. I was just like, oh, this is fun. This is really fun. And then it was kind of like, oh no, we're going back to okay. And then the second time too, when it had that acoustic guitar rhythm part that came in, those were really fun parts. And they're so fleeting in the overall song, but man, a lot of things going on. Actually, it's somewhat minimalist, but it stays so busy, and just the way that the rhythms are all written out, the way the production is handled on it as well, and then it's all them though. It's all really the vocals. Like it's all their vocal delivery, their harmonizations, the very, very strong, high notes that they're pushing. It's a really fun song, man. It's an incredible comeback song. It's just really strong for a comeback single. So I'm sure it was enjoyed by all the fans, because it's a great comeback song, man. I gotta check out Kitsch also, like just so I can get a sense for the pre-release sound. You know what I mean? I'll be looking for that next. But it's a fantastic comeback song, super powerful.